Hi, I'm Alex. Welcome to my channel and to this whole body mobility yoga flow practice today. Let's dive straight on in and head back here to the mat. And we are going to start standing. So we're going to take the feet nice and wide, toes turned out towards the corners of the mat as we come into our ninja lunges. So these are our baseline today as to what areas we might find tricky, what areas we might really need, and the things that we might enjoy. The ninja lunges help us to kind of listen to what's going on in the body, whether it be our mood, our energy, or something a little bit more physical. So often if I am just gonna take some movement to my mat, I don't want to follow along with anything, I don't really know what I might need, I will take these first to give me that baseline and decide whether I'm going to do something more active, more passive. And you can come down really quite low if you're already warm and you have the depth to do that, just exploring the different sensations. But you could of course just be up here as well, exploring the midline, or up high, exploring the spine, taking as much or as little movement to really open and lean into freedom and tension and space or restriction, whatever it might mean for you. Maybe the day is good, maybe the day is not good. But wherever you are going to rock those ninja lunges to support all of the different elements of this practice, which is going to be a little bit warming, definitely kind of transition based. Okay, from here we're just going to turn the heels out ever so slowly, just bending the knees and then softening down towards the earth. You might choose to heel toe the feet out a little bit wider as we come into our wide leg forward folds. Knees as soft as you want them to be here. Take a breath in, lift the belly, wave the spine long, and then exhale, just lower down. And same again, so inhale, maybe bend the knees, soften down, lift, wave long through the spine, and release. Maybe one more time here. Inhale, soften, lift, extend, and release. We're going to walk around towards the top of our mat. So lift that back heel. So we're coming kind of into a very low lunge, really. And from this very low extended lunge, I'm just going to bunny hop my back foot in, come up onto active finger pads, and just step your foot forward. So feet just slightly wider than hip distance, knees nice and bent, and then I'm just going to ragdoll and allow a little wave of the energy from side to side. And from here, I'm going to bend the knees a lot. And as I exhale, I'm just going to slowly rise all the way up to standing. You're going to take the arms high and just cactus the arms. So draw the elbows out, opening the chest, opening the gaze. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release. And one more. Take the arms down and round, just out to the sides. Take one breath in and then slowly release it out. Just allow yourself that moment to check in. We're not always moving very quickly into our next transition. From here though, we're going to soften the knees as we send the hips back and just draw the palms together in front of us. So this modified chair shape, taking a breath in. And as you release, bend a lot, coming into this kind of flying halfway lift. So lift the belly, extend long through the spine, high five the sky, straighten the legs any amount, soften on the inhale, and as you exhale, come back into this chair shape. Just be mindful the knees aren't knocking together, and just use the breath to work on that transition from that chair into that kind of flying high five moment. And it can be really fluid, or you can pause. Just allow yourself to have a bit of a play. And from here, as you exhale, just going to tap maybe the elbow to the knee, come back to center. Maybe tap the opposite elbow to the opposite knee. Take a breath in, soften a little bit more. And as you exhale, draw the fists to the hips, come to stand. And again, release the hands out to the side. We're going to heel toe the feet a little bit wider. And then from here, we're going to roll all the way down, bending the knees into a traveling yoga squat. This is one of my favorite things to do, to incorporate a lot of movement and a lot of different kind of mobility elements for the spine, for the hips. You might not choose to take the arm all the way up around you. You might settle and open out to the side, if it feels good to do so. But from here, or somewhere near here, we're going to take some hip dips. Just going to take a set of 8 of these before we come a little bit lower down and explore some different transitions. And it really helps to get the body moving when we work with the hips quite early on in our practice. And one more. And release, come all the way down, uncross, and just bring yourself into that cross-legged position. Take a couple of circles of the spine. From here, a seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release. And just neutralize a little bit here. Then you can choose to sit like this, or you can sit on your knees, which is going to work with the chest, so the upper back and the shoulders. So inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Just breathe into that front line of the body. And exhale, hug in, round out through the upper back and shoulders, drop the chin to the chest. And then breathing into the back line of the body here. And again, extend on your exhale. And this time, when you transition, you're going to bring the opposite arm across. Do one more either side again. And that movement can be a little bit more flowing as you breathe in. You could come from side to side like this. And release. So we're going to come over onto our tabletop. It's going to take a wide knee child's pose to begin with. So we're just going to come, lower the hips back, and just draw some movement from side to side. You might walk the hands round to one side, take that stretch through the sideline of the body. And then if you are, take it to the opposite side as well. Come back through to center and just lift to bring the knees a little bit more neutral. We're going to work on some movement and energy here. So draw back, exhale, come forwards. Inhale, draw back, exhale, hug, open, extend long through the spine. And just plug into the fingertips so that you're spreading the weight evenly through the hands as you work with the hips and the spine. We're going to do 2 more. And here as you come this one, maybe draw the hands a little bit wider, soften the elbows, pausing there to take a moment. And then exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Just rock the hips from side to side here. And take the fingertips nice and wide. Head sits on the mat, shoulders lifted, elbows lifted. Plug the toes in. Just lift the pelvis a little bit. And then roll up through that front line of the body. And release. Just do that 2 more times. Doesn't matter how high you come, just a little bit of activation, neutralizing through the pelvis and allowing that to activate the psoas. So that connection and control to work on the strength of the low back comes from center. Bring the hands underneath and just draw the elbows in, lift, and again come back through the body. Draw forwards, lower, pausing there, lift, draw back. 2 more just like that, pause, lower, breathe, lift, release. This time, as you come towards that tabletop, you're going to take the fingertips out in front of you. And hips are going to remain high, so we're going to take some movement through this puppy shape. So inhale, lift the belly, wave the spine long. Exhale, allow the chest to sink, maybe just before the head touches the mat. You lift, extend, so taking waves through the spine. And then here on this last one, you can release the hands, release the forearms to come into something a little bit more still. Just check in with the breath. Enjoy the moment there. And then use the hands to support you to come back as we take a stretch through the front of the ankles. Maybe the knees lift, maybe they don't, and you're using the hands to support here. You might feel that stretch quite deeply there, or you might choose to take the hands on top of the knees, working through the foundation, or our foundation of the feet, drawing forwards and just circle the ankles. You're going to draw the left leg away behind you, and we're just going to take some movement, so with a gate stretch, but with some pulses. So this is what it's going to look like. You're going to draw up and take it back, and 2 and 3 and 4. And this time, as we come to 5, we might just draw the foot to flat. Maybe we can work into some movement, drawing the hips back, see how that feels. Draw the leg all the way back behind you, bring it back to center. Take 1 cat-cow. Inhale, lift up, lift the gaze, soften, neutralize, and then hug, curling around. Bring it back to center. We're going to do exactly the same the other way. I'm going to turn around so I can show you also, because I have a sofa by this side of me here. So you're going to take the right leg back this time. And just a couple of little pulses here. Coming into the back line of the body and then drawing it round. Don't worry if it doesn't go too far. Just work within your range of motion. And 4 and 5. Again, maybe bringing the foot to flat and just work on the hips coming back. And just as I like to kind of start with the hips, I like to end with them too. Come back to center. So this time, coming down onto the bottom, we're going to finish with some transitional mobility movement. So we're going to draw the knees over to one side, so a bit like a shin box exercise. You're gonna come back, maybe use the hands to support you. That will help stop you traveling. So it's gonna look like this just to begin with. The hands might come to flat, you might lean back, lift up, and you might just draw some movement into that as you do it. You might twist. You don't have to come forwards. I invite you to explore that shape for yourselves before we add a little bit more into it. So from here, you're going to lift this right foot. So if you're working the same side as me, and draw forwards into kind of like a half squat shape. Draw back, bring the knee down, rotate up and round, place the opposite side down. You might come up onto the ball of the foot to come up high, or you might stay low into the hips but lift the body. Draw it down, come across, and just play. See how fluid you can get that movement from one side to the other. You might step a little bit wider, for example. And this kind of thing can help with how we rise up and down just from the floor when we're doing all different activities at home with the family, whatever they might be. So I encourage you maybe to try that hands-free as well. I'm going to really activate center, get well and truly into the hips. Okay, last one, wherever you are. Come back down, bring the feet in front of you, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. From here, we're going to just take a little bit of a stretch through the legs. So just lift and draw the hips back. Knees can be lifted, they don't have to be super straight. The legs don't have to be really wide at all. Just gonna take a lift, wave long through the spine, and maybe just walk the hands forwards a little bit, or the hands can be resting on the legs. You can take a soft pulse, or you can take some stillness as you begin to work with the breath, to soften and to slow it back down. Just draw yourself back up. Maybe join the soles of the feet together for a small butterfly stretch here. Again, the feet can be further away from you if that feels good, or you can cushion out with a block or a cushion underneath the hips. And then just see, as you walk forwards, just rounding into this last little moment. Two more breaths. Walk the hands back up. Release the feet, maybe back into an easy seat just for a moment as you just wave from side to side. Drawing the hands here towards the hips to seal in this practice, supporting yourself always from the inside out. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and I will see you next time.